we will be calling the Town of White Springs regular council meeting to order. And please have the invocation by Ms. Audre Williams.
Dear Heavenly Father, again we come before you. We thank you and we magnify your name, for this is the day that you have made, and we are obligated to rejoice, and we are glad in it. We thank you for the administration here at the Town of White Springs, for all the community, the leaders there, the pastors, God, for everyone that is in this community, God. We ask that you will take us to higher heights and deeper depths in you, that the business at hand, God, will be done decent and in order, God. We thank you that you have given us the light that sits on the hill, and we thank that you will bless every organization that is represented here, every household, God, and even the people here on our council. We thank you and we give you praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now have roll call. Madam Mayor Anita Rivers. Councilwoman LaRita McCallum. Present. Councilwoman Mary Berry. Present. Councilwoman Nicole Williams. Absent. Councilwoman Jacqueline Williams present. We have a quorum. We can proceed. At this time, do we have any additions, deletions, and or amendments to the present agenda? At this time, we have citizens from the floor. We request for you to have a 5-minute limit. So will Mr. Daniels please come to the floor?
Mr. Daniel? Or
Miss Daniel?
okay,
I'm sorry, Dad. That's okay. I'm sorry. Let me know my glasses on.
So much worse.
I'm trying to be cute. I'm putting my glasses on.
I have just a really quick question. My name is Beth Daniel. I reside at 16613 Spring Street. I was just curious as to, I think in November or maybe December, we asked a question about where we are with the licensing or the permitting for the internet cafes, and whether that's all now in place. Is everybody legal and conforming, that they've done all their permits, and do we have any kind of documentation around revenue and things like that?
You want documentation of the revenue?
I'm just asking, number one, are the last time people hadn't, some of the entities had not fully filled out, I think it was said that they were working on their licenses or their permits or whatever.
Everybody's got their permit in either July or August. We've already collected $96,000 from them. Both of them, they paid their second payment of $24,000 each.
Okay. All right. For some reason, I thought that one of them was operating, but it hadn't finished all the requirements for.
Munchies. No, they had to have everything.
Munchies was the one I think that was outstanding when we asked the last meeting.
Munchies hadn't paid.
They only have a 5,000. They're not a full-fledged. They have 3 machines.
The reason I wanted it was said that they hadn't finished doing their paperwork. I don't know what that means.
They did their paperwork.
That was a couple months ago.
Okay.
That's why they were in operation. That's why they were shut down.
Okay.
Anything that's operating has been permitted, and all paperwork, everything's been approved.
And we go in and do inspections.
Okay.
I pop up, sometimes I come on Friday night. I come on Friday night.
That should be fun.
Friday night. Saturday night, we just pop up.
Okay. That's all I
Make
want.
sure they're compliant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Daniel. The next citizen from the floor, we have Mr. Derek Snead.
Is this a public comment section? I just wanted to speak real quick on these two topics.
one of them being security here. I don't know what the process is on how you guys select security, whether it's required that it's the sheriff or somebody else, but I just want to point out that the last time that I was here, there was an officer that was here that used to work in Columbia County or Lake City at the police department, and that individual has had several domestic violence cases against him, as well as other issues that resulted in misdemeanor convictions. And one of the things that really stood out to me regarding that individual is they also filled out, which there's a copy of here, an indigency form on one of their latest arrests. And on the indigency form, you fill out, your assets, requesting a public defender, to be required to get to not have to pay for a regular lawyer. And on that indigency form, it actually states he doesn't have a house, he doesn't have assets or anything like that. Not to mention, he's got a homesteaded property that's well over $140,000, and was making at the time roughly $36,000 a year. So I just wanted to ask if you guys have the ability to pick security, or if you have to go by that, because that individual was here last time, and with some of the things that have been in the news about the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department, first off, I'm not comfortable, really being in Hamilton County with some of their lack of policies, but just in general, with this one particular officer, and that's just because I recognize his name. I think you guys would be better off hiring private security for your meetings if you guys have the opportunity for that. And that's just my opinion. I don't know how that works here. And if you guys have an answer, and if not, that's fine. I just wanted to bring that up because they're not only providing security for me, but it's also for everybody that's here as well. And I don't think that's the best choice for security myself. The second thing I wanted to bring up, I was here last time and I spoke about some comments that were made in public about an arrest or an incident that happened here at the gym over a month ago. And during the course of speaking about that, one of the things that was brought up was about 29 minutes into the meeting was somebody said, if I'm not mistaken, this is an open investigation and I don't think y'all should be discussing it. Just to address that, the reason I was speaking at that time is because the individual that actually said that had discussed that in public with other people. And clearly that it took the state attorney so long to file charges. Clearly there was public discussion around all of that, and I don't think that that was appropriate. Now, when I looked at some of the records, it looks like White Springs had an issue several years ago that I just wanted to bring up, which is in front of you at the underneath the State of Florida Division of Administrative Hearings, with Cortetta Adele Ford. I think that might be something that you guys might want to look at as far as what was done there and what was commented on from the results of that hearing. I also took a look at the Florida statutes, which I would suggest might need to be looked at as well when it comes to commenting in public. Those three statutes are listed there. 112, 313, the standards of conduct for public officers, employees of agencies and local government and attorneys. 110, 233, political activities and unlawful acts prohibited. And 10431, political activities of the state, county, municipal officers and employees. Furthermore, I'm sorry?
You have 1 minute.
Okay, sorry. So furthermore, I also read the town charter. Section 201 talks about compensation, eligibility, and requirements. One of the things it points out is under number 2, moral turpitude shall not be shall not qualify as somebody to hold office. I think that needs to be looked at with the charter. Number 203, forfeitures and vacancies of the office. The town council member shall be forfeit his office if he intentionally misrepresents facts determined for eligibility of office, willfully violates any prohibited part of the charter, moral turpitude, malfeasance, and then it goes on to number 8 about some of the remedies that the council can do. Section 204 talks about an investigation and what the remedies are for that, as well as the powers and duties of the town manager. I know my time's about up, but I would suggest that the council might want to look into this a little bit further with what was said in public and qualifications for that individual. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question, I'm going to make a statement. Mr. Snead, what was the comment that was made and what council member made the comment? And what public was it made to? Make sure you state the statements correctly.
So last time I was here, 29 minutes into the meeting, I believe it was you who stated, after you laughed at me and said, if I'm not mistaken, this is an open investigation and I don't think y'all should be discussing it. Now, I don't have the video for that, but I did watch the video that was recorded by Mick Shea on YouTube, so I believe that would be my answer to your question.
Okay, I did make that statement.
Okay.
And the problem with that was what? Now, my issue with you is, when you came before the council, you gave a false address.
What was my address?
You stated your address was 1168 Southwest Main Boulevard. Now, your arrest record, let me hold a second, thank you please, stated that you have several addresses. The police report that you filed on me yesterday for harassment because you kept passing by my house, recording videos with my granddaughter out in the yard, in the little silver van you were in. The address you stated then was a North Carolina address.
Sure.
On Facebook, you have an address in Lake City, 279 Forest something. Then you also have one 1404 Voss Road.
Sure.
So you misled us to begin with.
Not at all.
Secondly, while you're bringing up, shut up, I'm talking. No,
I did not.
I'm talking. So you need to hush.
No.
This is my time. You hush.
Misled.
I would like to have him removed, please. Thank you.
What?
I would like to have him removed.
You're not removing me for that.
Miss Rivers or Miss Williams, y'all need to remove him. Joe Griffin has been removed for less. Do your job.
Have a seat, please.
No, remove him, just like you did Joe Griffin for speaking out. Remove him. It doesn't matter. Joe Griffin had a public comment, and when he said something that upset Miss Rivers, you had him removed, and I expect the same respect that all of you. This man has been harassing me. I have an injunction on him as we speak. Remove him from this meeting. Do your job. Joe Griffin is a citizen.
He was in the audience.
But it doesn't matter. He was a citizen. His family was
We will not continue in this manner.
If you do not do your job, I ask you, as a council member, to have him removed. That is your job.
The time is 6:44. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
It'll reconvene.
Now, y'all either gonna play it right or don't play it all. Y'all doing unfair things. It doesn't matter. He's not a citizen here. He's been bringing up stuff from the beginning about me. Everything he's been doing has been about me. He has been taking video.
The time is 6:47. We will reconvene the meeting at this time.
We're not gonna.
You're on a very short leash.
No, he is going to be
You're
removed.
allowed-
I will not stop talking. This meeting will not go on as long as he's here, and you cannot remove me. So how are we going to do this?
But you are under the
That's
agenda
not
and
fair.
you will be allowed
You
to
remove
make this
citizens
statement.
for less.
Okay.
I expect the same
The next-
respect as the
the
rest
next-
of y'all, and I'm not going to stop talking until he's gone. And that's just how it's going to be. You tell me how you feel if somebody taking pictures of your grandchild riding by your house. You tell me how you feel if somebody at the Ernestine house taking pictures. I'm not going to hush. No, I'm not. And you can't make me. That's the best thing about it. You cannot make me.
Can we read that ordinance? I need them ordinance read.
Well, you should have read that ordinance when Sylvester cursed me out.
You should, girl, you know what, I ain't gonna say nothing, I ain't gonna say nothing, I'm good.
You should have read that ordinance then.
This is Vanessa, not Sylvester.
Y'all allowed him to do what they wanted to do.
We town business though.
It does not matter until he's gone. I'm not gonna hurt. I don't feel comfortable and I don't feel safe. How about that?
No, cause we need them ordinances, the town gotta do business.
The town has to do business, you're right. And all you have to do is ask a non-citizen to leave. Just like you asked a citizen to leave. You're going to be fair across the board. Because when he talked back, it was my time to talk. You allowed him to talk out of turn for the second time, and you're not asking him to leave, so I'm not going to hush. It is my right as a council member. So I don't care how you feel about it. It is what it is. And we will not continue until it's done, until he's removed.
It's the mayor's responsibility to make sure the meeting goes forward.
And the mayor is not doing anything as usual.
She's the mayor tonight because the mayor stands down from her duties because the vice mayor's got control of the meeting.
Well, she's not doing her duty, Joe, and you know for her right, this is not fair. I have an injunction on him.
It's in her discretion how to run the meeting, okay? So
Your camera's on, right? So
No,
you record all this?
you raised a point of order, okay, by saying that you want to have that individual removed. You can call for a vote on that if you want to.
Okay, I want to call for a vote for him to be removed.
Okay, then you may entertain that, but depending on how that vote goes, the meeting has to go forward.
We're gonna see, okay.
At this time, we have a vote. Would we, Mr. Derek Snead, is anyone in favor of having him to be removed?
I am.
Just say all those in favor, say aye.
All those in favor, please say aye. All
Aye.
opposed have the same right.
What was the vote?
I said aye.
You said aye to the, and then you said aye, so the rest are nays? We can't hear you, so nay. So
Say it a little louder, because I can't hear, and I need to be recorded that the mayor said nay.
she has laryngitis tonight, is my understanding.
And Ms. Berry? Okay, thank you too. So, 3 noes, 2, okay, fine. Y'all have it your way, but expect your paperwork too.
Okay, the vote is in favor. Please let the record reflect that it was 3-2. Now we will
And that
continue.
you can let the record reflect that you went against the negotiation.
The next citizen to the floor will be Ms. Ashley Bryant. Please come forward and say your name and address.
My name is Ashley Bryant, address 106 Turner Street. My question is, when have it been, how can I say it? Voted on that you can only have one event in the same month at the ballpark.
What is the?
By Easter that I have every year, I was told that I couldn't have it because it was always already an event going on the same month that I wanted to have mine.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah, because I don't have it.
You weren't told you couldn't have it, you couldn't have the
You
facility.
told me,
I said you couldn't have the area because it was already designated for that one that we do every month for free. So that area is already
okay, well, I
designated.
feel that.
One moment, please.
But I didn't say you can't have it, I said you can't do it for free, because it was already gone, somebody called before you.
Okay, but my thing is, everybody knows I does this every year, 106 years. I feel the polite way would have been, well, let me see if Ashley's doing hers, and we'll get back with you. Being that she does this every year in this spot.
And I understand that, but what I can't do, I have to be impartial, I can't say this is Ashley's spot. So
I understand, you can't say that.
I can't say, let me call Ashley and see if she's gonna do it and put everybody else on hold, because Ashley does this every year. So whoever calls, I have to be fair, just like when you call.
Even if it,
Wait a minute, when you call, if you the first one to call, that's why you get it all the time, because you call. But this somebody else called and reserved a spot. I have to do the same and more than the same courtesy.
Well, okay, well, if it was, you didn't say
I
free
didn't say you
spot.
couldn't have it.
You
I
didn't
said,
say free spot when I had to talk to you. But even if it was some kind of fee, you still didn't break that out to me.
we had, Ashley, I'm just gonna say this, you're at the meeting, you know they charge for that space. When you were doing stuff for the community, we said, okay, listen, it was my discretion. I said, we just can't do it every time, because everybody will put that tag on, I'm doing this for the community. I have to have some kind of way to put a stop to it. So we do one a month for the community. Whoever calls, if they're doing something free for the community, they can have it. You call and you doing the book bag thing, and you the first one, yes, but if somebody else calls, I can't say, well, listen, only Ashley is exclusively.
I don't expect you to say that.
Exactly, so that's why the other person was able to get it, because they came, but we just can't say every time you can use the town thing free, because like you know, they voted on that space being rented. It was nothing personal, it was just that person just had.
I mean, I understand. It was, I just feel.
After what date?
I'm saying what April 1st. I just have it in the church parking lot.
You said April the 1st. Next on the agenda, we're gonna have presentations.
I don't know if you saw it.
I'm sorry. Would you come to the podium and say today?
I don't think everyone knows me, but I am Towanna Jelks. The event that's going on for Easter Island, but listen, I'm not up for drama, I'm not up for foolishness, none of that. I am willing to work with Ashley. I don't have a problem with that at all, but I'm not with drama.
It's nothing against
I'm not.
It's nothing against anybody.
I mean, if it's a community, we come together as a community. We work together as a community. All this bickering and fussing and, going behind each other back, that needs to stop, man. It really does. We all adults around here. And we got to realize that our kids is watching us as we come up. The community is watching us as we come up. I'm willing to work with anybody in here. I don't have a problem with working with Ashley. When she called me, I don't have a problem working with that. At all. But all the back and forth, I'm not in it. I will back out real quick.
So maybe y'all can work together.
Most definitely.
It's not my place to say, hey, you gotta work with this person.
I don't have no problem with working with
I'm just gonna
anybody.
give them the space.
I mean, and I feel like,
Ms. Jelks?
ma'am,
What date is your event?
they,
Okay.
and that's what I'm saying. And see,
It's a packet.
my thing is, when it come down to doing community events, we need more events. We need that for our kids. I have a 15-year-old. I don't know about nobody else, but I want to keep her busy. I want to keep her out the streets. And if the only way is to do that is to have free events for the community, so let's do it. I don't have a problem working with nobody. It ain't nothing about, okay, Towanna name on this and Towanna name on that. I ain't got nothing, I don't care about all that. Because when it come down to working with for the kids, that's what I want to do.
So Ashley, are you willing to just have the one?
But the 8th, I can't do it.
The thing is, when I get it, I didn't tell anybody who had the spot. I just put that person's name in the spot. I'm not gonna share who has the spot. If they call and they doing something for the community, I just not wrote it down that it's gone for April. And that's how that works.
All my stuff is free. I'm not
But
asking nobody for nothing.
Ms. Jones, nobody's blaming you or blaming Ashley or anything. Just spots, just was gone. It's one spot. Whoever called, go get it, and that's it. It's not, neither one of you all are to blame. And I understand what she said, but nobody's to blame. It's just whoever get it first. And I can't tell, hey, you need to work with such and such. I'm not gonna do it.
And
We're just
if you
gonna
need
write
help
it down,
to
and
event on the
that's
8th, I'm willing to do that. The same people that I reached out for mine, I reach out for you for your information. I don't have a problem with that.
Thank you, Ms. Jelks.
You're welcome.
The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Now please have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes from the January 10th, 2023 meeting.
LaRita McCallum make a motion to approve the minutes from meeting January 10th, 2023.
May I have a second?
I'm very second.
All in favor of the approval, please say aye. Any opposed, have the same right. Please let the record reflect the minutes were approved with a unanimous vote of 4. Old business. Now please have the first reading for ordinance number 2023-01.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Vice Mayor, For first reading this evening, ordinance number 2023-01, an ordinance of the town of White Springs, Florida, permanently vacating an unopened portion of Wesson Street, a road within the town's road system, and providing an effective date. For the council and the public's information, the portion of Wesson Street in question is unopened and lies north of Jewett Street and south of Collins Street. Madam Mayor, I'd ask you to open a public hearing and then move to approve the first reading.
Time is 6:58. The public hearing is open to the public for any questions and/or comments. Let the record reflect there are no citizens wanting to make a public comment. So may we please have a vote to accept the first reading of ordinance 2023-01.
I will read LaRita McCallum, make a motion to accept the first reading of notice, ordinance number 2023-01.
May I please have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed have the same right? Let the records reflect.
I didn't hear the second.
You can't
And let the records reflect. Unanimous vote of 4. May I please have the first reading of ordinance number 2023-01?
Yes, ma'am. Ordinance number 2023-02.
02, sorry.
02.
Yes, I'm sorry, 02, yes.
An ordinance of the town of White Springs, Florida, prohibiting smoking and vaping in public parks within the town of White Springs and providing an effective date. Same process as before, Madam Mayor.
Time is 6:59. Public hearing is open. If you have anyone from the public that would like to make a comment.
I just have a question. How will that be enforced? Is it going to be signage or?
Signage.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and to be very clear, it's actually even in the draft ordinance that was presented by the folks that proposed this. They're not suggesting active enforcement, they're suggesting passive enforcement, so it'll be signage.
Good enough. Now please have a motion to accept ordinance 2023-02.
I will read McCallum, make a motion to accept the first reading notice of ordinance number 2023-02.
Have a second?
I'm Mary Berry, second.
All in favor of ordinance 2023-02?
Aye.
Opposed have the same right? Please let the record reflect that it was passed with a unanimous vote of 4. Then we please have the first reading for ordinance 2023-01. I'm sorry, 03. It's number 1.
Ordinance number 2023-03, an ordinance of the town of White Springs, Florida, increasing usage rates for water and wastewater provided by the town's utilities and providing an effective date. For the council and public's information, this is the implementation of the rate adjustments that were presented by the town manager at the end of 2022. You guys remember the stepped up rates? This is the first step of that.
The time is 7:01. Hearing is open for any public comments and or questions regarding. Go ahead. It's
Sorry. What is the proposed beginning, I mean, if it passes after the second reading, that's it? Then when will we see those increases? When will that take effect?
It's the first billing cycle. The first billing cycle that will start.
After the pass through the second?
Correct.
correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Now please have a motion to accept ordinance 2023-03.
I will read McCallum, make the motion to accept ordinance number 2023-03.
May I have a second? Second. May we please have a vote to accept ordinance 2023-03. All in favor? Opposers have the same right? Let the records reflect, unanimous vote of 4. Oh, she did.
She was, if you,
How do you
you can't not vote.
I don't, yeah, I just want to, but I did have one with 4-0.
Correct. You had 2 with 4-0.
The first two were.
Yes,
First two,
yes.
Okay. So the reading, the first reading for ordinance 2023-01, 2023-02, 2023-03, we have completed the first reading and public hearing. New business, Azalea Festival update. Mayor Rivers cannot speak. Ms. George, would you like to speak on regards to the meeting that we had referencing?
Yes, we've come up, with the Azalea, events. We have 5 artists that are performing at the, excuse me, not Azalea, I'm gonna hold up it. May Day, Azalea. We got too much. Let me see. Maybe it's in here. No, okay. The Azalea Festival, March 18th. This is really the mayor's baby. I'm like, extraordinary. Okay, March 18th, the Azalea Festival, we came up with all the events. We have, oh Lord, you need to do this. This show, go ahead.
It's called 50-50 raffle.
The 50-50 raffle, the duck race, we have adventure tickets, season passes, we have performers and silent auction. We have the plastic cars, the pageant. The pageant is open now to both male and females. We can't leave the little boys out. So.
Games, are we doing Saturday?
Taste of White Springs Friday night at the Tourism Center.
Yes.
This is the night before.
Yeah, that'll be on the 17th.
Okay.
Yes, I think
And
From
6 to 8. And flyers will be put out.
That's the mayor's baby, so,
Flyers will be posted this week. Okay, that was a struggle.
yeah, applications are on the website.
Yeah, the next item.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't forget to come.
the quilts on auction.
That's the silent auction.
That's the silent auction.
Can I go a minute?
You know who baby the Azalea Festival is.
She said that. Say it again.
The paddleboard? Paddleboard. Hey, listen, this your baby. I struggle with you.
The 50-50 race, the prize of that.
Okay.
Oh, we wrapping up the paddleboard, okay.
A paddleboard, okay.
Madam Vice Mayor, did have a question earlier today on the phone about the 5K race. Is that, I didn't hear you guys say that.
It won't be this year. It was stated in the meeting, it was a lot put into it, and not enough participation for the amount of time that was spent on it. So she's gonna actually do games, have a game section, in the place of the 5K.
Gotcha.
The next item on the new business is the Easter Fest.
I have no idea about the Easter Fest.
He's jealous.
That's it, Bear River.
I did put an envelope,
Yes.
a sheet in your packet.
So I'll let Ms. Jones is here, she can explain to us what she's gonna do.
Okay. See, I just put people's names. Here we go.
Yes, ma'am. It's just a carnival. The theme is 2023 Basket of Love. And then we just doing like different booths. Everything is free. The food is free. The games is free. We gonna have cakewalk, the fishing booth, duck pond, face painting, the 2-liter soda toss, the jungle toss, football toss, bumper buddies, Astra shot, catch your target, clown toss, and the treasure sandbox. It will have a what was it called? The money bowl, and what it is where all the monetary donations that has been donated, I get dollar bills, we put them in the little bubble thing, and then whatever they win, whatever they grab, they keep. So, and that's all monetary donations. But I have had different companies say that they will donate. Whether it's food, drinks, games, prizes, different things like that right there, so.
And the date of that?
It is April the 8th, the time will be from 12 to, no, I'm sorry, 1, I think that's what it is, 1 to 5.
I think that's what
1 to 5, I think that's what I had on the
And
Facebook.
that's in the ballpark?
Yes, ma'am, it's at the, softball field.
Do you need volunteers?
Yes, ma'am, we do. Yes, ma'am. We need, the volunteers mostly for the booths, and then, serving the food. We'll give them tickets for 1 free meal. And as far as the money balloon, they'll get a 1 ticket for that as well. So they won't repeat the game, and, so. But other than that,
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the complaint from Mr. Derek Snead. Mr. Derek Snead, I'm telling you right now, you are on thin ice. tread lightly.
Yes, thank you for letting me know.
Yes.
What happened earlier, I just thought I was responding to an answer, but I understand it kind of got out of hand. In any event, my complaint, and apologies, but I do need to ask, does the page 3, 4, and 5, does it show a little map on what you guys have? Okay, I see it there. So anyway, I have many addresses because I have many properties. Sometimes my address might be a personal, it might be for my business, it might be for my registered agent, depending on the situation. With that being said, during the scope of looking at properties here in White Springs and coming up to White Springs to file my complaint, I realized it was a Friday, after all, when I was up here. So I wasn't able to do my complaint that day, but in the course of that day, I did go down Mill Street, and I said nothing as I went down Mill Street, nothing at all. Went to the end of the street, figured it was a non-event, as nothing happened, and as I turned the corner to go out onto 90, or to whatever the main road is here in town, I noticed I was being followed by the vehicles that I just passed a few minutes earlier. It turns out that both of those vehicles, a white Dodge Challenger and a silver four-door vehicle, basically chased me all over town, and you can see by the map the various turns that I made. I blew up some of those turns so that you can see I literally made U-turns in the middle of the road trying to get away from these individuals. And until it was said about a granddaughter or a daughter a few minutes ago, I didn't even know there was a daughter in the picture until I literally just looked at it here a minute ago. But regardless, that wasn't the purpose and nothing was said. But as I go down the road, you can clearly see these individuals following me around, chasing me, trying to block me in. I was going over 90 down the main road in front of Fat Bellies.
I don't have a copy of that. I would like a copy, please. I don't see it.
I heard the tires on the white vehicle squealing as it came out of the first road chasing after me. A couple of these U-turns, or what I would just call them evasive, trying to be evasive and getting away, happened in front of, it looks like the gas station. I don't know if that's in England or a Stop and Shop. And I just don't think that clearly any of that was warranted, not to mention all the different traffic violations that were made in the course of this on myself trying to get away while the other person was doing this. I've got pictures of them turning around in the rearview mirror trying to block me in, and all of this is on video, but because, and I have the video, but because, should I continue? So I have it on video, but because the video is too large to put on a thumb drive or whatever, and to turn in the complaint, it was on paper. So these are the pictures off of that video. Above and beyond that.
What happened to nurses? Y'all need to go.
What is that, man? Rita?
So above and beyond that, I did file an ethics complaint. I also filed a police report. And now to hear that today I might have a restraining order against me for this action where I did nothing wrong. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm strenuously asking that this person be removed from office because of that. Clearly, filing the restraining order for this incident in which I was the one that was being chased around town on video and having done nothing wrong is retaliatory. And when I did look through the charter and some of the things that are in the Florida statute, clearly there's been some violations of those when it comes to ethics, malfeasance, and then just in general, attaining the role of the person sits in right now. may not have been truthful when they applied for that position, or if they were applying today, would not allow them to have that position based on their background as far as what I've seen. But I strongly request the removal and or to have you guys look into this, because having a restraining order now, or hearing about it after what I said last time I was here, after I filed an ethics complaint, and after, bringing this to you guys' attention and filing a police report, and then to be called a child molester by the person here from the diocese, was clearly said, and I assume it's on video, shouldn't be done to anybody in the public with or without proof, as far as something that slanderous goes. That's all I have to say, and I do apologize for earlier. I thought I was responding since I was asked kind of back up here, but do you have any questions for me before I sit down, or I'm done with it?
I do. I have a question. How many times did you ride by my house that day and followed you? And just to let you know, I was on the phone with 911. You passed my house about 6 times, which made me notice you in a silver van.
Could I respond to that?
No, I'm talking. Your time is
You asked
up.
a question. Okay.
You passed by my house 6 times recording and taking pictures. You've been to my mother's house, got out of your car, took pictures because you have it on Facebook. I have filed charges on you for harassment, for cyberbullying. You put me on Facebook. You put my mother's house on Facebook. You got out your car, stepped on my property to take a picture of my pool under the alias of Barry Gable with your picture. You came to my house Sunday. My brother was in his truck. You pulled up on the side of him and his riding partner's truck and took a picture then too. You knew my granddaughter was in the yard. She was the only person standing in the yard. And yes, I said, I do not know if you are a pedophile or not, because most people, grown men, do not ride by people's houses consistently taking pictures. You're trying to act like you're so innocent, but you're not. You are a big liar. And I'm stating that on record because I have the proof to back up what I have to say. Now, my warning to you is to stay away from my house, to stay away from my family. You videoed her several times. You circled that block around and around and around. I followed you to 135. You went to 41 to SNS. I got behind you because I was on the phone with 911 once I noticed you were the same person who came and spoke out in the meeting. Before you spoke out in the meeting, you came to my mother's house and took pictures and put it on Facebook. Yes, you did. So you can't deny that because I have it here. Now, secondly, this was done the day after the first council meeting. You came to the council meeting on the 10th. You took the pictures on the 11th and put them on Facebook on the 11th. You made comments on the 4th until a post Sylvester Warren put on Facebook about me. Then when he came here, called me a disloyal piece of shit in the council meeting. And nobody seemed to thought that he was out of order, but you want people to respect y'all, but it's only certain people that are supposed to be respected as far as what I'm getting from the council and the town. Only certain people need to be respected, and the rest of us is whatever. But that's another story, another complaint. On the 11th, the 27th, and again on February the 12th, you were to my house. I have proof of you to my house. Because I recognize you, because my family has a picture of you to let them know when you come back. You are a stalker. You have been cyberbullying and cyber stalking me since Sylvester put the post on Facebook, January the 4th of 2023. You were one of the biggest commenters on his post about me. You then, when Cindy Powell Leadbeater decided to say, well, everybody does not agree with you with Sylvester's post, then you attacked her, trying to pull up her personal history. You use the internet for illegal purposes since you want to know so much about the law. You pulled up stuff that even on Been Verified, People's Founders, any of those sites, it tells you you're not supposed to use it for certain reasons. That's exactly what you did. Then you put it on Facebook like you were hurting me, but I'm me. First of all, let me clarify something for you. I don't have a criminal record. I've been arrested 3 times. 3 times. Not convicted of nothing. So therefore, the things that you are saying, what? A worthless check, when you went into the worthless check, if you would have seen, it was not me that did the check, it was my brother. But you didn't dig that far in. You only got what you wanted to give, but we're not gonna talk, because I'm not the only person that sits up here with a record. You understand that too, don't you? But I'm the one that you singled out, and the only reason you're going through these steps is because of Sylvester Warren. Because y'all are friends. I don't know how close of friends you are, but y'all are definitely friends and have a connection. And he's upset because of something somebody told him that he wasn't even man enough to ask me if I said it. Anyway, you steady going on, but I have my proof of everything with you with the pictures. My pool is not visible from the road, Mr. Snead, or Barry Gable, whatever your name is. You intentionally misled us with your address. You gave police a whole different address than what you gave the council. You gave a New York address, you got a North Carolina address, you got a Lake City address, Live Oak. Come on. And the address you gave was over by Dr. Kaday's office where no one lives. You did that to intentionally misrepresent yourself and your intention. And since the council doesn't see fit to keep you from being around me, that's going to be a whole different issue with us on ethics anyway. So while you file your ethics complaints, make sure you file them correctly without lies. Because I have proof to back mine up. You took pictures, but these are the pictures you took before we even started following you. These are the pictures you took, and this is why I followed you, because I wanted to know what man keeps riding by my house, videoing my 8-year-old granddaughter out in the yard playing, because she was the only one out there. I looked out the window because she started talking to Mr. Kalen, which is the man in the white car, and that's what made me notice you. I've seen your van pass by 3 or 4 times before I even stepped out of my door. When you came by the last time, I saw you big as day doing this. You had already been to my mama's house and put stuff on Facebook, put her house on Facebook, talking about her house, reaching out for her, all of this other nonsense and foolishness. So, come on, what are you really trying to do? You are not a citizen here. You own no property here. Not saying that you got own property to come here or to be here because everybody is supposed to be welcome here, but you are proven to be a nuisance. I am threatened by you. I feel for the safety of my granddaughter, my elderly mother, and my disabled son. And I do not want you around me. I am stating it again on record. And if the council does not see fit, then I would take up matters with an attorney, and Mr. Foreman would not be able to represent you all when I do my paperwork. Thank you, and I'm done. You can have a seat because I know what I want to hear from you.
Can I
But you can stop lying.
Or is that it?
We don't have a presiding officer right now, so.
But you better believe this is not the end of it for the town at all. So y'all better make sure y'all know what y'all are doing.
Are you done?
I was asking if I could make 2 quick statements in response to that. Or is that it?
Just be on the next agenda, please. Right now, we
So you're allowing him to come back?
We can't do that right now.
Okay, so now we have public comments, please. Departments, town manager, fire department, and utilities.
So we just been dealing with orderlies all over town, and we're trying to get the grant. As I said, we got awarded the grant, we just verifying that we have the funds to pay back before the pre-planning.
That's it. The fire department did have a report. However, he had an emergency.
He has a little thing that he was gonna give me, see the little thingy, but it's just general information he wanted to bring everybody up on that.
I don't know the first thing about it, he's noticed.
Okay.
We'll wait.
We'll just,
Okay, we'll take
We'll
the
postpone it.
Okay. Joe, do you have any comments or anything?
There's been a lot of discussion in this meeting tonight about ethics complaints. And I certainly understand people have desires to file complaints. There's no issue, nothing wrong with filing a complaint if you have one. Just I would ask, please, use use the proper procedure. The Florida Commission on Ethics has a particular form. They require your complaints to be sworn, and they should be filed in Tallahassee because the town doesn't have the resources to fully, properly investigate these things, and we certainly don't follow Florida Administrative Code. So certainly understand the desire to have complaints heard. This is not really the body for that. So in the future, we're going to ask those to be referred to Tallahassee where they can properly investigate.
Thank you. Does anyone on the council have anything else they want to say?
Yes, I have a couple of questions for Mr. Foreman.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Foreman, I need to know, and I want it to be on record, which is why I'm asking you here instead of calling you.
Sure.
As far as the town is concerned, we have the town charter to follow, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is also part of the town. What would be, wouldn't you say this would be part of it also, the town policy, personnel policy and procedures manual, and administrative SOPs?
That's not part of the charter, but it certainly governs the behavior and conduct of personnel.
Okay. So therefore, the things that are in here that have been violated would be considered a violation of the town policies?
Town policies. Okay. So just to make it, so the charter is the people's law. It's set up by the
I
people.
get that part. I'm just asking, how does the personnel policy and procedures manual and administrative standard operation guides apply to the employees and the council?
Right. No, I'm walking you into that, right? So when we have a violation of town charter, you're accountable back to the people. So that's where the Commission on Ethics comes in, right? So if there's a charter violation, Commission on Ethics can stand in and review that for us because certainly you shouldn't be reviewing that. You're the ones the charter created, right? However, the policies and procedures manual and the administrative policies and procedure are your rules. You guys created those rules. So if somebody's accused of violating those rules, then you do have investigatory powers vested in you through the charter where you can vote to order investigations of those particular violations. So if you get a complaint about a violation of your rules, you can investigate it. If you get a violation of a complaint of the charter or state law, like Chapter 112, which is the Ethics Code, that goes to Tallahassee. Okay, so they're enforceable rules. It's just a matter of where you refer the complaint. So what you're asking about, Ms. Williams, is violations of town personnel policies and administrative code.
Correct.
And those would be properly referred to the council. You could do that.
Okay, and my question now is because I have no vote of confidence in the council at this moment because they're all personal and not doing what they should do and how they should act because of personal vendettas or whatever they determine that they have with me. How would that go from there? Because if we're not following these rules, then what would be the next step?
So if you don't have confidence in the council, Commission on Ethics can also take that complaint, right? And so it's a standard form, it's on the internet, it's the same form that Mr. Snead used. And you fill it out online, it's a PDF file, and then you just sign it in the presence of a notary and you mail it in to Tallahassee. All the instructions are here. What that does is it triggers the Florida Administrative Code, and it'll cause a copy of the complaint to be mailed, mail service to any public official. They have to accept mail service. That'll trigger the complaint process. And so they do what's called a probable cause analysis. They'd say, okay, is there a possible violation here? If they say there's a possible violation, then they'll appoint an investigator. And usually those investigators will come over and spend a day or two in the community talking to people, gathering testimony, and doing the investigation. So that's how it works. And that's why people use the Commission on Ethics because that's all they're set up to do, right? But it's I'll send everybody the link if they want it. It's pretty easy to find, or you can just search Florida Commission on Ethics complaint on Google. It's the first thing.
Well, I know how to contact them, I've already done that.
Okay.
But I was trying to find out about the different violations that have been done from this office and administration that directly violates the administrative procedures and the personnel file. So I wanted to know.
So what you would do is write the narrative for those and attach that with your complaint to the Florida Commission on Ethics.
All right,
That's the
because I have
process.
the meetings all been videoed anyway, so I have proof of everything I needed. Thank you, I appreciate you answering my question.
Yes, ma'am.
Any further council members have anything to say? The time is 7:27, the meeting is now adjourned.